Agriculture has always been a part of my life. I've always been enjoying the outdoors, but really kind of getting into the farming business didn't come later until I went to school in aquaculture down at the University of Miami. And that got me kind of more interested in not only the business side of agriculture, but also kind of the whole concept of changing the course of the road that we've been going down for the last 50 years. And it seems like even in aquaculture, the more sustainable fish might be grown way over here and the market's way over there. And I kind of still didn't really like exactly what's going on there. What we really need is, farms closer to the consumer, so you're not adding on all these costs as far as shipping, but also delivering a fresher, better product out. So local food, I guess, is what really kind of caught my interest, and it's the direction I've been going in. Currently, our main crop and our original crop here at Congaree Penn was the rice, and what we're growing is a medium grain rice called Jupiter. The reason for that being that we talked with the rice research station out at the Louisiana State University in Rayne, Louisiana. They said it's a really good crop, has a good yield, very tolerant, so we don't have to use pesticides and herbicides during the production of it. It can really handle quite a bit of stress and still put on a good amount of rice. But it all starts in early March. We're looking to get our seed down, and we're actually just broadcasting the seed out into the field, and then we'll come back and drag it with the tractor and then start hoping that it's going to rain like a big dog. Once that rain comes in, our rice seed's going to germinate. Within about 2-day period, you'll start seeing sprouts of green come up all throughout the field. Right around week 10 or so, you'll start seeing the rice come to head, and you'll actually see the little packets that become the grain eventually. And throughout the last month of production, you actually see that rice slowly go through 3 stages. The first, you start seeing kind of a milky starch being inside of there, and then it kind of becomes doughy. And then after that, it hardens up, and the result is brown rice. And we'll go in there, get it all out of there by cutting the rice, and then also threshing it, which will take the actual grains off of the plant material. And then we'll take that grain, dry it down to a stable 12% moisture content, and then we store it like that on the husk. And every week we mill it fresh for both restaurants and chefs and everyone at the farmers markets here in town. So we really have a good thing going. Growing up, I did a lot with trees, and so orchards have always been on my mind. And we actually had some mayhaw trees growing up, and I always remember how great that mayhaw jelly was. The mayhaw is a native to this region, and it just seemed like the natural thing to kind of go towards. And I actually learned how to graft from a new friend and mentor in Jimmy Moore up in Valdosta. Growing up in a nursery, I was only potting up trees. I was never doing any grafting or learning that sort of thing. But doing my first year of grafting, and we were taking pretty much seemingly dead piece of wood and splicing it into a rootstock and seeing it actually grow, that's just an incredible thing. We're going to end up putting about 1,300 trees in the ground next month, so that'll bring the total up to around 1,500 trees. It's exciting because an important thing in orchards, once you know what you want to plant, it's probably better to go ahead and plant it, because it's going to take some time before you start seeing any return on that investment. But we'll get some good mayhaw out. We're looking at making jellies with it, juice products. One of my big goals is to eventually be making a mayhaw hard cider. We also, at the same time, we're looking at, what other great native, fruit-bearing plants are there out there, and the muscadine kind of came up pretty quick. And, one of the good things about the Jupiter rice we grow and the mayhaw trees and also the muscadine is they're, very tolerant. They don't require all these chemicals to keep them happy. Muscadine, you could try to kill it and the thing's going to keep on growing, so it sounded like a good crop for us. And we ended up working with Greg Eisen up at Eisen's vineyards up there in Georgia, and he helped me pick out a few good cultivars for what we're doing down here. And to me, I prefer the muscadine as a table fruit. You can also make wines with it, you can make jellies, you can make pies. I mean, I like eating them right off the vine, so that's what I did this year, because we didn't have a huge amount. But eventually, the area we have planted with the muscadine is going to put on a couple thousand pounds of these grapes, and I'd like people to just enjoy them as a table fruit, but we'll probably do some other fun things with them in the future as well. Well, with the rice, we were almost kind of hoarding it originally. We were like, we gotta save this, we can't sell it to anybody, we're gonna make a bunch of sake. And I ran into Chef Scotty Schwartz, he's up in Fernandina at 29 South. He's the first one who brought the word Midlands to me. And I was like, well, I don't know what that is. And he's like, well, it's just broken rice. Do you think you can make me some? I'd like to try out, more local products. I was like, I can figure out how to break the rice. And we were able to do that. And then a few weeks later, I was out here working. I got a call from him saying, my friend Tom Gray, he needs 20 pounds of Midlands. Like right now, he can't find it anywhere else. Do you think you can get it to him? I was like, okay, sure. One thing I noticed, once I started selling to a couple of these restaurants is just how passionate the chefs are about their ingredients, but also, where they're sourcing them from. Without the relationship with the chefs, we wouldn't have all the different products we have, but we also wouldn't have gotten our foot in the door of the food industry here in Jacksonville. The thing I'm most passionate about is kind of slowly developing this project out here. It's not like we just came in here and bought a farm and started seeding our own crops in the fields, but we're kind of building those fields, but also building like a greater kind of landscape. And while some of the crops are being reseeded every year, the landscape is kind of becoming a permaculture system where we've got the rice fields, and I have hopes of adding in a fish pond that's then going to utilize those rice fields as a settling pond, and create a huge amount of organic nutrients for the next season's rice crop. Kind of slowly developing this this edible landscape almost. It's not only a great tool for education, but a great joy for me to kind of see it become what it's becoming. And we've got now 220 acres out here, and I'd say we've only really begun developing the first about 25 or so of it, and we're just going to keep on working and trying new things, just kind of to see everything change and keep on improving everything, getting rid of what's bad and not working, and bringing in new and exciting new things. And it's something I really enjoy doing.